everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing overseeding your Bermuda lawn grass with an annual ryegrass for the wintertime. So as many of you know, if you have a Bermuda lawn, it will go dormant during the wintertime as temperatures start to dip down. This is normal for this grass type. It is still alive. It's just going to sleep, so to speak, and will wake up in the springtime. Let's dive into this and talk about some of the reasons why you would not want to overseed your lawn. So if you do overseed your lawn, you're going to have to do a lot of yard work and mowing your lawn and taking care of it through the winter time. So if you need a break and you just want to rest up till the springtime, and that's totally fine, that's your preference, this is probably something you don't want to do. The other reason is if you're going to apply a heavy pre-emergent, you probably do not want to do this overseeding project. Also, if you are going to be doing an adjustment of your soil's pH levels, if you're doing that, then you don't want to overseed. The other reason why is, possible difficult transition period between, the annual ryegrass and the Bermuda grass coming back in the springtime. So a little bit of a battle there between the two grasses. There's also going to be a battle of nutrients. So the ryegrass is going to be taking a lot of the nitrogen out of the grass, out of the soils, and so come that springtime, you're going to have to put down a lot more nitrogen to get your Bermuda grass to come back out. The other thing is just the competition. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but the competition between the two grass types. There is some articles out there that perennial ryegrass, I've seen it on perennial ryegrass, but we are putting down annual today. But the article is talking about the perennial ryegrass will have a chemical that gets released that stunts other types of grass from growing. So you may risk that if you do an overseeding. So that's something to take into account. And then if you don't have a Bermuda lawn, this is probably something you don't want to do. All right, so let's start with the prep before you start throwing down the seed. So first of all, do not start this project if you've thrown down your pre-emergent already. The seeds will not germinate and you will damage your Bermuda lawn if you scalp it going into the winter time. So do not start the project if you've already thrown down your pre-emergent. Secondly, you want to make sure that the weather is cooperating with you. You want to make sure that the highs are in the 70s and lows are in the 50s. If it's below that, it won't germinate as quickly. So I would probably err on the higher end of temperatures, 80s or 90s, to make sure that the seeds will germinate in time. Typically they germinate in 3 to 5 days and then fully grown in about 40 days. So, and then the prep, you don't need to aerate. If you're going to aerate, that's totally fine. I typically aerate in October time frame. So if you're gonna do it, great. You don't need to though. So, and then dethatching, if you do this on a regular basis, you don't need to dethatch. If it's been a while since you've dethatched, you wanna make sure that you're getting up all that thatch so the seed can hit the soil and then start to germinate from there. So you'll see that I had to do that, and then I ended up having a huge pile of thatch that I needed to get out of the ground. So the next topic is you want to drop your lawnmower when you're scalping your lawn to about a 1/2 inch. So you want to go as low as you can to trim away all that grass to make sure that the seed can get to the soil to germinate. So a little pro tip that I have here, I have the Ego 21-inch push mower, and that was kind of binding up every time I tried to get as low as I could. And so what I would do is I just went to Home Depot to get a gas powered mower, and I was actually able to get a little bit lower on the scalp, which is great. But I probably save the hassle and just go to Home Depot and rent a gas powered mower if you don't have one. If you want to continue with the e-mower or the mower that you have, you're gonna have to take it step by step as you get down lower and lower and lower. Don't drop it down all at once. It'll start binding up. All right, and then you want to make sure that you're picking up all your clippings. So you want to make sure that the clippings are not laying on the lawn, preventing the seed to hit that soil. So. Okay, so here I am using an Oregon-grown grass seed. I picked this up at Tractor Supply, and it's roughly about $50 there for a 50-pound bag. This bag will cover up to 10,000 square feet. But something to look at when you're buying your seed is the wheat seed. You want to make sure that that is the lowest amount there. So this one is 0.05%, and that's perfect. And then we'll talk about the application right here. So you want to put down about 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. I'd probably start out with a 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. You can always add more, but to measure that, if you want to be exact, get a scale, and then you put your drop spreader, or your spreader on that, zero out the weight, and then you add your seed there per section. So if you see my last video, I have about 22,000 square feet, maybe 2,300 square feet up in the front. So I'm going to use 20 pounds to 23 pounds of that 50-pound bag. Now, if you just want to guesstimate and estimate it with your eye, I'd take probably, half of that 50-pound bag is going to cover up 5,000 square feet. So half of that, or a quarter of the entire bag, is roughly 2,500 square feet. So that's how I would do it. You don't need to make this trigonometry or make this difficult than it actually needs to be. Okay, and then so watering is another critical portion of this. You want to make sure you're watering at least 3 times a day: morning, afternoon, and then evening, making sure that seed is always damp there. I have a drip system on our parkway, so what I found is running it around 30 to 45 minutes is perfect. You don't want it to oversaturate the water or the seeds there, but just enough to get it damp. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you found it very informational and you benefited from this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments on how to do something, you need more clarification, please comment below and I will be happy to answer those questions. But until next time guys, enjoy the mow.